And as we get into our Friday, again, you may fire open that ABC 17 StormTrack weather app and look at the radar, and it looks a little more threatening. But notice the trend over the last hour. Some of those showers have been shriveling up. That's what we expect to kind of keep going as we go forward. The reason for that, again, still battling some of that dry air. Most of us are here in mid-Missouri. This is looking a little bit higher up into that atmosphere as we continue to track some of that dry air. That'll eventually get overcome, but it's just going to take a little while as we get all the way through the late morning and early afternoon hours, finally starting to see that atmosphere become a little more what we call saturated across mid-Missouri. So here's how FUTURETRACK has all of this shaking out, moving some of those showers, again, a little bit reluctantly into some of our western counties by about 1 and 2 o'clock because, again, thinking it's going to lose out to that battle with that dry air. Closing in on Highway 63 by about 3 and 4 o'clock, continuing to work off toward the east here from there on as we get into the early evening hours on our Friday. And once it does move back in, you want to keep that umbrella handy because it looks like those rain chances sticking with us. There's really not a whole lot in terms of a real meaningful break as we get all the way through tonight. It's likely going to be tomorrow morning before we see some of that starting to thin back out. But unfortunately, looks like that rain's here to stay as we get into Saturday. It's just not going to be nearly as widespread. So keeping with those gloomy conditions all the way through our Saturday, and it's starting to look like it's going to stick around into Sunday as well as we close out the weekend. With a lot of that cloud cover, some of that rain-cooled air, temperatures not going to go anywhere like we've seen the last couple of days, only topping out in the upper 50s. And again, rainfall amounts, nothing terribly impressive. We're staying away from the flooding threat, at least, as we only pick up about 1/4 to 1/2 an inch of that rainfall, but it looks like the model's starting to kind of hone in on those amounts a little closer to about 1/2 inch as we get all the way through this weekend. Looking at that ABC 17 StormTrack 7-day forecast, I mentioned that we added those rain chances in on Sunday. Again, notice, though, it's going to be a little bit more isolated in terms of that coverage, so we might still be able to salvage at least 1 or a day and a half out of this weekend as we get into Saturday and Sunday. Monday's looking like the nicest day of the next week. Temperatures back into the 60s. No rain chances to speak of, but we pick up more after that as we get into Tuesday and Thursday.